Hello, my beautiful babies. Welcome to the Little Wonder Stories.
Hello, Little Wonder family. I hope you all are doing awesome. I'm back with a new interesting story just for my tiny friends. So let's dive into this.
The story of Mushkil Gusha. Once upon a time, not 1,000 miles from here, there lived a poor woodcutter who was a widower and his little daughter. He used to go every day into the mountains to cut firewood, which he brought home and tied into bundles. Then he would have breakfast and walk into the nearest town, where he would sell his wood and rest for a time before returning home. One day, when he got home very late, the girl said to him, "Father, I sometimes wish that we would have some nicer food and different kinds of things to eat." "Very well, my child," said the man. "Tomorrow I shall get up, much earlier than I usually do. Go further into the mountains, where there is more wood, and bring back a much larger quantity than usual. I shall get home earlier, bundle the wood sooner, and go into town to sell it so as to have more money. Then I will bring you back all kinds of nice things to eat." The next morning the woodcutter rose before dawn and went into the mountains. He worked very hard cutting wood, trimming it and making it into a huge bundle, which he carried on his back to his little house. When he got home, it was still very early. He put his load of wood down and knocked on the door, saying, "Daughter, daughter, open the door, for I am hungry and thirsty and I need a meal before I go to market." But the door was locked. The woodcutter was so tired that he lay down and was soon fast asleep beside his bundle. The little girl, having forgotten all about their conversation the night before, was fast asleep in bed. When he woke up a few hours later, the sun was high. The woodcutter knocked at the door again and said, "Daughter, daughter, come quickly. I must have a little food and go to market to sell the wood, for it is already much later than my usual time of starting." But, still not remembering the conversation, the night before, the little girl had got up, tidied the house, and gone out for a walk. She had locked the door, assuming in her forgetfulness that her father was still in town. The woodcutter thought to himself, "It is now rather late to go into town. I shall therefore return to the mountains and cut another bundle of wood, and tomorrow I shall take a double load to market." All that day the man toiled in the mountains, cutting wood and shaping the branches. When he got home with the wood on his shoulders, it was evening. He put down his burden behind the house, knocked on the door, and said, "Daughter, daughter, open the door, for I am tired, and I have eaten nothing all the day. I have a double bundle of wood that I hope to take to market tomorrow. Tonight I must sleep well so that I will be strong." But there was no answer, for the little girl had felt very sleepy when she came home and had made a
meal for herself and gone to bed. She had been rather worried at first that her father was not at home, but she decided that he must have arranged to stay in the town overnight. Once again, the woodcutter, tired, hungry, and thirsty, finding that he could not get into the house, lay down by his bundles of wood and fell fast asleep. He could not keep awake, although he was fearful for what might have happened to the little girl. Now, the woodcutter, because he was so cold and hungry and tired, woke up very, very early the next morning, before it was even light. He sat up and looked around, but he could not see anything. And then a strange thing happened. The woodcutter thought he heard a voice saying, "Hurry, hurry, eat your wood, and come this way. You need enough, and you want little enow. You shall have delicious food." The woodcutter stood up and walked in the direction of the voice. He walked and he walked, but he found nothing. By now he was colder and hungrier and more tired than ever, and he was lost. He had been full of hope, but that did not seem to have helped him. Now he felt sad, and he wanted to cry, but he realized that crying would not help him either, so he lay down and fell asleep. Quite soon he woke up again. It was too cold, and he was too hungry to sleep. He decided to tell himself, as if in a story, everything that had happened to him since his little daughter had first said that she wanted a different kind of food. As soon as he had finished his story, he thought he heard another voice saying, somewhere above him, of the dawn, "What are you doing sitting there?" "I'm telling myself my own story," said the woodcutter. "And what is that?" said the voice. The man repeated his tale. "Very well," said the voice. "The story will be continued." Subscribe to Little Wonder Stories for Part 2 of the most famous story, Mushkil Gusha.